Top 3 questions I get asked on this channel. What does a load board look like? How do I book loads? And when I book those loads, how do I stay so local? And tonight, I practice what I preach with that spot capacity. These are the relay rates for Saturday, October 7th. All right, let's jump into these. First things first, I will put chapters in this. If you're here for, recommended loads, those are gonna be up front. 53 foot, 26 foot, whatever equipment you're looking for, I'll put chapters in this for everybody so you can skip ahead to your part. Let's jump into the load board here. First up, these recommended loads. Right now they're saying, 53 foot trailer provided, that little P now. If you notice a change on this load board, they've changed it a ton over this last week. They did away with color notifications, they brought it back, they moved the refresh button, they moved it back. It's been all over the place. So if this video looks a little bit different to you, you're not crazy. The load board has changed, had 3 major changes in the last 10 days. So recommended for me, they're saying, San 3 to Paris. I'll bet you this is an empty trailer. Let's just take a look here. New place to look for that. Yeah, empty trailer going from here to Paris. Another one to Paris, another one to Paris. Bunch going up to Paris. Here's one, 3 stops. Not a bad payout. 447 a mile, 553 for 3 stops, starting in San 5, ending in Riverside, ending in DSD 5 is Vista. So this is going to be going probably a loaded trailer from here to Vista. Yep, and then probably an empty trailer from Vista up to Riverside. Yep, the little circle there, filled in circle is a loaded trailer. Non-filled in circle is an empty. Let's see, Chesapeake. Where's that? Chesapeake, Virginia. Not going to Virginia, but if you wanted to, $245 a mile, $6,642. That is a solo driver. That's the type of thing that interests you. That is available. That picks up, it's 3:05 now. That picks up in like 5 hours. Eastvale for $272. Poway to a random, what's the middle stop? Okay, so this one's kind of backwards. This is going from Poway to Otay up to Riverside. I'll bet you those are both loaded trailers. Usually I bet you're picking up carts in Poway. Yep, that's loaded. And then you're going to get to San 5 and take a, oh no, they have you taking an empty up there. Usually they'll kind of work that around to where it's, you got to be careful on those. Sometimes those are taking loaded trailers every way. So these are all 53. Let's see if there's any 26 foot. They recommend them to me even though I don't have one. San Diego to Borrego Springs, 5 stops, $1.48 a mile. Not great. BBCA San Diego to ending in San 5. Pop sockets. Yeah, so this one's probably not a post office. This is probably picking up at like a third-party place, then going to a bunch of post office and ending at San 5. Another 26 foot, $1.33 a mile is not great right now. Let's take a look at my local load board here. Otay to Vista is the one I consider local. Basically, it's 53 miles one way to Vista, so 106 miles covers every facility here in town. There's 5 on there. Let me turn off this auto refresh. So here's San Diego to Paris, 271. We saw those under recommended. So in my local load board, it's all just those ones going to Paris. Let's expand that out a little bit and look at starting in Otay, going no further than 250 miles. Now there's 12, so those Paris ones are still going to be in here. Paris. Here's that Poway one we saw earlier. Poway to San 5 to Riverside, 363 a mile. San 5 to Riverside. We saw that one earlier too. That was the Vista one. So loaded trailer from Otay to Vista, empty trailer from Vista to Riverside. San 3 to Buena Park. That is taking a container though. Let's see if that's a loaded container or an empty container. That is a loaded container. Up to Buena Park. Stop by Knott's Berry Farm, get some fried chicken. Let's see here. Eastvale, 3 stops. These are not paying great. I mean, 214 a mile, 293, 269. Let's take a look at backhauls. Let's just say you end up in Paris right now. Is there anything coming back? There usually is not. Yeah, there is not. I will be watching this load board though. More to come on this in a moment. Nothing in Paris, and then let's just see what the local work in Paris looks like. This is starting in Paris, going no further than 100 miles, and that is starting in God, like 30 minutes. Buena Park to Victorville, taking a container up there. Buena Park to Victorville, taking a container. Let's just see what top money is for the local work up there. Price per distance highest. Top money is not until Monday at $350. $14.55 for trailer required, going from Ontario to San Bernardino, Jarupa Street, that's probably a third party, going to ONT5. You got to be careful about those third party places. I've had people ask me before, could I do a day cab with Amazon? Could I do like a single axle day cab? You could, but you would want to avoid sites like this. These sites like this is where you're going to end up with a trailer that's got, well, I mean, this is trailer required, but this is, you're going to end up with a trailer that's going to be more than the average, probably closer to the max. So you got to be careful of places like that. Looks like top money up there is all with trailer required. Let's take a look at 26-foot box trucks. SD box truck. They have a Sand 5. You know, the first thing I notice here is, I mean, look at these. These don't start. The soonest one is Monday at 1:30, or I'm sorry, Sunday at 1:30 in the morning. So I mean, again, I'm only including box trucks in this because people have asked. I don't have a box truck, but if the closest load starting to now is not for almost 24 hours from now, that works completely different than 53-foot equipment in this area. 53-foot equipment, there's money in waiting to the last minute. It looks like box trucks maybe just like, you know, it might be advantageous to book these, you know, 24, 48 hours in advance. Let's look at price per distance highest. San Diego to San Diego, $11.37 a mile, going from Sand 5 to, not familiar with this address, but I'll bet you 815 E Street is a post office. That is, if that black box would leave me alone, I could see what it was. Just totally blocking it. Oh, that's Thursday. God, that's annoying. Thursday at 2, then Friday at 1:10. Probably the same load. Sand 5 going to Mission Gorge Place, bet you that's a post office. Sand 5 going to another place in San Diego, 1:50 on Thursday, 2 a.m. on Thursday. So it looks like there's, you know, some good loads coming up later in this week. Let's just go through these a little bit. San Diego to San Diego, 2 stops, $9.74. Let's see, San Diego to Spring Valley. Let's see if this is the post office on Austin. Yep, 100% that's a post office on Austin. I know that area well. Monta Vista class of 95. Let's see here, Spring Valley, so that's Friday. So like, here's Friday at 1:50, Thursday at 2, going to the same post office in Spring Valley. Maybe they run that load every night. I mean, you know, live in Spring Valley, go see my old alma mater. Let's see here, San Diego to San Diego. Now this is 3 stops. You got to be aware of these stops on the side. So these stops are going to eat up some time. So starting at Sand 5, going to San Ysidro, not far from here, but then ending up on Mission Gorge Place. I'd like to see these total payouts a little bit more. I mean, usually, you know, $883 sounds great, but then $210 total payout. I mean, you know, 3 stops is probably going to take up about 3 hours of time, less fuel. I don't know what type of fuel mileage a 26-foot box truck gets, but I don't know if $210 would be worth coming out to do one of these loads. If you could string 3 or 4 of them together, that would be ideal. Let's see, San Diego to La Mesa, that wouldn't be bad. $8.69 a mile. Lake Murray Boulevard, I'll bet you that's a post office. Let's just see highest payout. Let's sort this by highest payout. Now this is, I'm betting, let's see, price per distance highest, payout highest. I'll bet you the mile rate per mile is going to be low though. So top payout right here is $355, and you're ending up in Coachella. You are starting at Sand 5, going to Moreno Valley, ending in Coachella, and now are you going to be able to find a load in Coachella? Let's just check. Coachella, California. And let's sort this by lowest, deadhead shortest. Closest load to Coachella is 52 miles away in Beaumont, and that's going to pay you $1.32 a mile all the way to Vegas. I think if you did that trip, I hate to guess, but I mean, I think you'd probably be hitting Vegas and be hitting even. Beaumont is just the closest one. Now these also, I mean, we got to take into account that it is Saturday at 3 in the morning. I have no doubt that is Wednesday is the when the date to this comes closer, they for sure will offer more per mile for this. I have no idea what it usually goes for on average, but $1.32 would be pretty low. As far as what I've done with my night tonight, I've been looking at the same load board, kind of keeping an eye on it. I came on duty today at 1:30 a.m. Came down here and ran this trailer across the street. This load is done. I did a little sand 3 to sand 5. Love this load. Typically they pay $220 for this. Tonight they paid $254. Yeah, I'll come on duty for that any night. The load I'm working on now, I'm actually in the parking lot of sand 5. I'm working on this one. Supposed to arrive at 3:30. I got here like 45 minutes ago after I did that one across the street. Doing this one is a round trip down to National City and then back. And then I don't just preach the spot capacity. I'll show you how I practice it. Got this one earlier. They sent out this little spot capacity for Sand 5 going to Poway, ending up in Riverside. They're offering $700, but here's the thing. They needed somebody to start at 3:15. I responded back to this. If we go to my sent here, I responded back to this saying like, hey, I sent a screenshot of the load I'm on right now. I said, I'm here doing this one. I said, I'm currently on this load. If it can wait until this one is done, I will take it for $700. You might be thinking, you could have asked for more money. You could have asked for more money. I kind of see this as like, it's a give and take with this. They might have somebody calling up saying, yes, I can take it at $315, but I want $900. My thing is yeah, 700 is pretty good. Maybe I could have gotten more, but if there's a chance to hold that for me till this load is done, my next load, the one I'm currently on, ends at sand 5, so 0 deadhead. And this one that they're offering starts at sand 5. So I send that over to them. They call me back. They're like, absolutely, we'll hold on to it. And so in transit right now, I'm going to National City, upcoming. I got that load for $700 and they bumped it back to $550 for me. So to me, that's the give and take. Yes, maybe I could have gotten more, but I'm willing to accept what they're offering it for. 700's not bad. And if they'll bump it back to $550 for me, that's a win. I'm going to be paying attention to that Paris backhaul load coming back to San Diego, because at 12, I forget if it's 12 or 12:30, I'm going to be, worst case scenario, I bobtail myself back to Spring Valley to sit on my parents' couch and watch Alabama play Texas A&M. So maybe I get something coming back. It's got to be done before noon because that's my obligation then. But came on duty at 1:30, should be off duty 11 at the latest. So I think I'm at, like, let's see, 700. This one was 220, the other one was 250, so that's like 11 after fuel. No way I'll burn more than like 30 gallons tonight. So, I mean, to come out of this night, to be on duty for, 9, maybe 10 hours, come out of this night with at least $900 feels like a win. But no matter what, come noon today, roll tide.